Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you know me very well, you know that I, as well as many other people on this planet, have one thing in common that might be a mutual fear, and it's taxes, man. Taxes, taxes, taxes. I mean, people say you can get away with murder, you can get away with pretty much almost anything in this world besides tax evasion. Not to say that I would love to get away with tax evasion, because I definitely would not. But I'm saying taxes is one of those things that, especially in America, it's not really taught very thoroughly, but yet it is the one thing that can get you in a lot of trouble globally. No matter what country you are from or you reside in, you need to pay your taxes. And if you don't do your taxes properly, because there are plenty of people, I mean, everybody basically does taxes besides the people that don't. But for the people that do and mess them up, they can get locked up for simply not doing them properly. And that's what we're going to be diving into today. I was very worried about moving to Germany because of the taxes that they have there. Now, a lot of you guys were like, James, you have nothing to worry about, blah, blah, blah. Yes, I do. If I move to Germany, the chances of me getting a regular job are slim to none. I don't have any education behind me. All I really have is social media. I'm in the military, and my military experience is not going to help me get a job in a foreign country unless I'm working for a U.S. Related thing, which, that would be me working on base in Germany. But if I were to solely live in Germany and try to find a job in Germany, it would be very difficult. So I would have to be self-employed. Self-employment taxes in Germany, I was under the impression they were on demon time, because people pay a lot of taxes in general in Germany, and a lot more than we do here in America. Although you guys do reap the benefits of the taxes you guys pay over there, whereas in America we don't get to see where the fuck our money is going. So let's not waste any time. Make sure you hit that red button. It's free. We're trying to hit 500,000 subscribers. So if you want to be a part of the journey and the come up, go ahead and smash that red subscribe button, and let's go ahead and dive nose deep into this very interesting video that one of you guys sent me via Discord. Once again, if you guys want to join my Discord, link is also going to be in the description down below. Let's not waste any time, guys. Los geht's.
Hey guys, this is Yamini here, and welcome to my startup Germany. In this video, I will explain the type of taxes that freelancers have to pay in Germany. So let's
people that make money on the side, you know what I'm saying? Your boy and a lot of other people as well. I was curious because there's a lot of people, streamers and German YouTubers that were leaving Germany in droves, man, because the taxes they were paying were ridiculous. Now everybody's like, oh, they just want to get away with paying taxes and da-da-da. First of all, okay, where's the problem in that? Where's the problem? I don't see a problem. Do you see a problem? So look at this. Look at this. I know no one should be talking about not paying taxes, but if I'm just keeping it a stack, if you had the opportunity to keep more of your paycheck, right? Would you not do that? Because that don't make no damn sense. Let's say you work a 9-to-5 job, because in the situation I'm in, I'm working both that and I'm doing online stuff. But let's say you work an online a 9-to-5 job, right? And you get taxed or whatever. But let's say you had an option. Let's say you had an option for how much in taxes you wanted to pay. It was almost like a donation in a way. You could pay 1% in taxes. You could pay 50% in taxes, but you decide somewhere in the middle. Most people are going to probably decide to keep most of their check. You worked really hard for that money. You want to see most of that money. But obviously you live in a society that is structured and it needs funding of some sort, so the people need to pay into that. I get that. But like I said, most people would want to see most of their money that they worked for. I'm just saying. So that's where a lot of people kind of, are relatable. That's where a lot of people are relatable. That's where you have tax breaks. That's where all these little things. Think about every single person who's received a tax return. If you've received a tax return, that means you overpaid your government. You overpaid your government, and they're giving you your money back that you were overpaid, that you overpaid them. And 9 times out of 10, it's not all of the money you overpaid them. It's some of it. It's like, oh, here you go. Now, if you're paying taxes, that means you got paid everything that you were owed up front, and you need to pay your share to the government yourself. So it's a pretty interesting thing, but we're going to get into this and see what they have to say.
Let's jump right in. There are three types of taxes that freelancers have to pay. First is VAT, which is also called value-added tax or Umsatzsteuer in German.
Oh, Umsatzsteuer.
Second is income tax, Einkommensteuer.
Yep.
And the third is Gewerbesteuer, which is a trade tax. Not every freelancer has to pay trade tax in Germany. It's
You have to pay trade tax? Ooh, sheesh. Let's see what this is about.
just for people who are registered as sole traders. So let's talk about the first tax, VAT.
VAT.
VAT is actually a Europe-wide tax. In Germany, the VAT rate is 19%.
God
So if you
damn,
have
bro.
any
That's so self-employment tax in America is 15.3%, right? Let's say, well, with that being said, to be honest, though, I feel like if that's all the taxes I had to pay, that would be fine. But it's not that simple. Guys, I said this in another video. I'll say it again. It's like these taxes stack up. Now, I'm not sure. She's about to explain it, so I will let her talk. But to let you know where my frustration comes from for the people who haven't seen the video of me ranting about taxes, if you are self-employed and you're also working for a corporation, you're screwed here in the United States, right? I'll explain it. So you have your federal taxes, your state taxes, and your self-employment taxes. Now, self-employment is 15.3%, right? So, boom, you have the 15.3% plus your federal taxes. Obviously, your federal taxes are like, would be the sum of your self-employment tax plus whatever other jobs you worked that year altogether, which would put you in another tax bracket. You'd be in a higher tax bracket. So now you're paying 22% of the total amount of income you made for that year, plus the self-employment tax, right? So let's say the total amount of money you made for the year, I'm going to make up random numbers. They're not going to be mathematically correct, but hear me out, right? Just hear me out. So let's say you made $500,000 one year, right? 1 year. And you had to pay, you got boosted up in a tax bracket where you're paying 30% of 500,000. Cool. Should be fine, right? You guys are like, you got the money. You could afford it. I agree. So 30% of 500,000. But what we did not factor in is that, let's say 400,000 of that 500,000 was self-employment tax. So now you have to pay 15.3% of 400,000, right? Plus that percentage I just told you. So the 30% plus, so you have a number after you get the 30% of 500,000, and now you have a number after you have 15% of 400,000. Add those together. Now you're like, you should still be able to afford that. I agree. Let's throw in another element. It's called state taxes. Each state has a different taxable rate for however much money you made that whole year. So take that whole lump sum, $500,000 again, that you made in this example. State taxes, you have to pay state taxes. So let's just go with an expensive state, just for the example's sake. You pay 20% in state taxes plus 30% in federal taxes plus the 15.3% in self-employment tax. Add all three of those together, and that's what you actually have to pay in taxes. The reason why I'm frustrated with that is because when I try to budget, I'm like, okay, how am I going to save enough money to pay my taxes so I'm not in debt to the IRS? To the IRS. Being in debt's not what I'm concerned about until it has to do with the IRS, the Internal Revenue Service. I don't want to be in debt to the IRS because that will definitely land me in jail, because it's taxes. It's crazy. So I'll let her finish, but you can kind of see, just to paint a clear picture of where my frustration comes from. If America is already like this, and rumor around the town is that Germany, y'all be paying way more in taxes than we do. That is stressful, my guy. Oh my gosh. So yeah, all I have to do, oh man. And the thing is, a lot of times people wind up spending way more than they should, and they wind up dipping into the money that they should be saving for taxes. So I'll throw a fourth element into what I just told you guys. Now you have in the example I use, you have the 30% plus the 15.3% plus the 20% in state taxes. So the 20% came from the state taxes, the 30% came from federal taxes, the 15.3% came from self-employment tax, right? Add those three together. Well, now all those are added together, The fourth element is knowing how much money you need to spend on bills for that entire year, right? Because if you don't have, any sense of how much money you're spending, like, oh, what are your day-to-day expenses look like? You take that from all of that. So like, how much is your rent? How much do you pay for food? People think that all that money is spent on vacations and I feel like there's a certain amount of money you can make where you would be making more than the average person, but you would be taking home less than the average person. You know what I mean? Like there's a sweet spot, right? With the example I gave you, there's a sweet spot. So a lot of people were saying, bro, there's write-offs. You can obviously get things written off. Write-offs help. They definitely do, but they only help so much. Obviously, you have to document a lot of things. That's where like being an adult comes into play. You have to get a little book out, document all the meals you've eaten, all the things you've spent that have to do with business expenses and stuff like that. Anything that you've donated to charity, those are all tax breaks. But it irks my soul now when people are like, oh my God, like, the society would be so much better if we tax like the wealthy. And I'm like, it wouldn't be. They don't see the money. We don't see the money. Y'all don't see the money, at least in America. But Germany is probably different. Maybe taxing the rich would be, a thing or some shit that would change society. I mean, they say 1% of the world's population holds like 90% of the money or some shit like that, if that makes sense. But it's just a frustrating process, man. So I get it. People who have to pay back a lot in taxes, bro. Oh my God.
Clients in Germany, you will invoice them with your netto amount plus 19% VAT. Depending on how much VAT you are paying on your business expenses.
Oh, fuck, bro. So this is pretty much the same here. That's why I said, bro, it's going to be a lot worse, man, in Germany, bro. And I know people are like, shut up, just No, bro. Stress you've never heard or seen before in your life. Like, this is stressful. Having your own business is stressful. It's liberating because, yes, you can do and work for yourself, control the amount of hours you work and But like, dog, the taxes you got to pay on that shit. And if that's your only source of income, that makes it even worse, bro. Like, it's just, I feel like it would be fine if you had a solid, very, very, very incredibly strict budgeting system. Like, you can't approach having your own business and being a freelance person the same as working for a corporation, because the corporation is already taking care of the taxes you're paying. When you're an independent person making money, you take care of that shit. That shit is
or the amount that you are charging to your clients, you will have to report VAT regularly to the Finanzamt.
Makes sense.
In the next few minutes, I will explain how you can report your VAT to German tax authorities. If you are charging VAT to your clients inside or outside Germany, then you will have to report VAT to Finanzamt. This report is called Umsatzsteuervoranmeldung or advanced VAT report.
That's one of the words y'all were trying to get me to say. Umsatzsteuervoranmeldung. For like my Aussprache, type thing or whatever. People are like, oh, well, you should work on your pronunciation. They slap this word in front of me, and I'm like, what the freak? How do I even say that? Oh my God! But that's what she's saying makes a lot of sense.
Now, depending on how much VAT you generated in your previous financial year, Finansamt will determine a frequency of reporting for you. If in the last financial year you charged less than 1000 euros VAT, then you will have to file this report just annually. Otherwise, if you generated more than 1000 euros in VAT obligations, then you will have to file this report quarterly.
Oh, see, that's smart though. I'm glad they actually make that a requirement, because here it's an option, and I think that's probably why it's pretty stressful for your boy right now. You know what I'm saying? Because if you file quarterly, you don't pay as much, right? You file annually, good googly moogly dog. It's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. So the fact that they make that a requirement there, and here it's not necessarily a requirement. It's a requirement to pay your taxes, obviously, but it's not a requirement to file quarterly if you make over 1,000% and self-employment profit. But that makes sense. That's pretty makes a lot of sense. I guess it makes it slightly less stressful, but you're still paying a decent amount in taxes. But it's slightly less stressful when you're getting taxed on like chunks at a time and not one massive lump sum, because that I'm shaking.
And if you charge more than 7,500 euros in the previous year, then you will have to report it monthly.
Holy shit.
Let's talk about the most important tax for freelancers in Germany.
That's
income
crazy.
tax, aka Einkommensteuer in German. The current income tax rate in Germany is between 14.
Excuse the fuck out of me? Between 14 and 42%? Oh, man, listen, I understand. All those wealthy people that are writing off all their shits and they only have to pay like $3 in taxes. I understand. They have every right to do that shit. I'm a firm believer. Save the bag. Save the bag. If you have the opportunity to save the bag, save the bag. Like if they donated to charities, did all this philanthropic work and stuff, and they could write that off on their taxes, and they're only paying like what, $1,000, and they're bringing home 4 or 5 million. I support that shit. I support it, because they did things to get the write-offs they needed to get to only pay that much in taxes back. You know what I mean? Because I mean, obviously their money went to the public. It's not like they hoarded it to themselves. But when I see 42%, bro, I don't think you understand. I'm shaking right now. That to me is like the boogeyman. Like, oh my God, 14% reasonable. That's reasonable. Like 14% more expensive though than the baseline for what Americans have to pay in taxes. But however, you guys actually get to see the fruits of your taxes that you're paying into your government. We don't get to see that. So I am speaking from the perspective of someone who did not get to see or benefit. I benefit actually directly from people who pay taxes, because I'm in the military, which is obviously funded by money that people have paid with partially with their taxes and stuff like that. So I guess I am a direct beneficiary of people who pay taxes. But, and I quote my own self, I don't know, like, I guess part of my frustration does come from, in general, like the whole big picture of America and what we don't get to see with where we think our taxes are going to. Whereas you guys in Germany get to see a lot more, and you probably don't feel as bad paying that much in taxes. However, I have heard a lot of people complaining about all the taxes they have to pay. They do say it's a little much out there, but give and take, man, give and take. I guess it makes sense. But I am still a little worried, man.
To 42%. However, the first 9,744 euros are considered as non-taxable income.
Okay, that's cool.
This is called Steuerfreibetrag or Grundfreibetrag.
This is a lot more complicated than I thought. It's not as black and white as I thought it was for the tax situation in Germany. I am definitely getting a lot less anxiety watching this video, because it seems like there's layers to this situation. It's not it's not a simple process, but that's good, because it allows for, the government to get its tax money and the people to not walk away feeling like they've been completely scammed. Makes sense. This makes sense.
So in Germany, you have to pay your income tax in advance. This is usually done by quarterly payments.
That is
and this
cool.
quarterly amount is based on your income.
That's what everybody was saying, man. So I think what has me even more stressed out here in America is we have to pay at the end of the year or at the end of the quarter. You guys pay that shit up front. So there's way less stress for you guys. That's probably why you're looking at me like I'm crazy, because they're like, bro, just pay your taxes up front and you're good. We pay our taxes on the back end. Like we get our check, we pay, we file our taxes and do all that shit at the end of the year, you know? So yeah, that's crazy.
Last year. And at the end of the year, you have to send one more and final tax assessment to your tax authority.
Oh, okay.
Your income tax will get adjusted at the end of the year. So for example, if you ended up paying too much taxes, then the Finanzamt will pay you a refund. And if you end up paying less taxes, then Finanzamt
Bro,
will
I've
ask
seen so many Finanzamt memes. Obviously, there's got to be an issue with the Finanzamt in Germany to some degree. People been dunking on the Finanzamt. like the only people I fear, the Polizei and the Finanzamt. You know what I'm saying? Like, hell, let's go.
ask you to cover the difference. So that was my super quick introduction to German freelancer taxes. I hope that you have some clarity now about
Yes. I do have a lot more clarity. I'm still a little bit nervous, but it is what it is at the end of the day. If you guys have any more additional information you would like to give your boy, please let me know in the comments down below. Do not forget to subscribe because we are definitely chasing 500,000 Bray Gang members. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I am definitely still a little bit nervous, but I have a much better view on how the tax system works in Germany. I've reacted to like 3 or 4 videos related to taxes in Germany, and one did a very, very, very thorough breakdown, even went as far as suggesting a link to a website, which I actually went to and did a little breakdown of like taxes and stuff like that or whatever. Although the website was kind of simplified, it made sense. It definitely did make sense. So I do have an understanding. I just worry because it's different when you're working under an employer versus when you are self-employed. You pay way more taxes when you are self-employed than you do when you are under an employer. Or it seems like that because you're getting your money up front as a self-employed freelance person versus working for an employer that's already taxed. You're good, you're Gucci, you can, walk away with your head held high and feet in the sky, all that good stuff. I don't know how you'd walk away with your feet in the sky. But anyways, that's where I'll conclude this video. Like, comment, once again, subscribe. I'm going to say it till I run out of breath. And I'll see you guys later. Take care. Love you. Peace.